ensure that the process takes start, which is the fourth session. And from here onward, viewers, you would see that this court proceeding today, of course, this is been waiting for, people have been waiting for this day to ensure that the process commences and the process moves on smoothly, and people who are actually accused has to be heard, and of course their defense team and the prosecution team, most of them are already on the ground. They are waiting to ensure that they defend their accused, and also those prosecution also stand their ground and also defend the charges leveled against the 8 accused in numbers, actually starting from Fort Kang down to Dr.Machar, among other top military, IO, and political members of the opposition. You've seen them, they have taken their center stage. The accused have taken their center stage, with the exception of Dr. Machar, which is expected to be arriving in a short while. Then following his arrival, and so we are expecting the arrival of the 4 presiding over judges, that is led by Dr. Justice James Alaladeng and Justice Stephen Simon, and then we have also Justice Isaac Pur Majak, who were appointed by the process, and this is what is happening. So briefly, viewers, what's happening is the live coverage or the live broadcast from Juba for the court proceedings of the suspect, that is including Port Kang, who is the top on the list, and then downward up to Dr. Machar, among other numbers. And this include, we have Mampal, who is the second accused. We have Garwich Lamport, who is the third accused according to the case file against them. We have Lieutenant General Gabriel Doplam, who happened to be the 4th accused. Then Dr. Machar, 10, happened to be the 5th accused. Then we have Brigadier General Camilo Gatmai, then he is the 6th accused, and then we have number 7 on the list is Mading Riek. Then number 8, we have Dominic Gatkot Riek. These are 8 accused who are having, according to the government, that they are having connection with the incident that took place in Nasir on 23rd of March, when White Army militia killed more than 250 SSPDF soldiers and Commander Major General David Majur Dak, and also 1 pilot from United Nations who was actually sent on a mission to evacuate late Major General. This happened that he couldn't make it because the White Army also killed one of the members of the UN, or one of the pilots of the UN. So we have 4 Council Generals in the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. We have 7 advocates who are members of the prosecution panel, led by Advocate Deng Achil Adija. We have 2 inspectors, or investigators rather, who are members of prosecution panel, as well as 1 complainant from National Security. We have also 6 advocates, defense team, representing Dr. Machar and the 7 accused in the ongoing court proceedings, including Dr. Gary Raimondo, who is the lead defense team of the accused, who are defending the accused. Then shortly, of course, viewers, as you could see, we are our cameras at Freedom Hall relaying to you the event happening right away. The summary of the past 3 days before the court could be actually pushed to the 29th of Monday, which is today. The proceeding began the first day, which was actually successful. Proceeding began by the constructive introduction of the entire members of the courtroom, from the panels of jurists, judges, prosecutors, defense team, as well as the accused. Then followed by, the turn-up was a little bit limited on the first day of the court, as only the family members were allowed during that day, few on number. But then the second day, the courtroom also received, or people started actually coming in, due to the fact that the justice who is presiding over this event that is Dr. James Alala, actually call on public and those who are interested members of public who wants to attend the court proceedings, and he said it is open for them to come and join and also be part and partial and witness how the case is going on. And of course, viewers, if you can remember, that very day, the court began actually successfully, and then there was some argument from both the prosecution team as well as the defense team, where the defense team has some objections, and also the prosecution team has some objections to some of the things that they have put across. For example, the preliminary jurisdictions and the objections of the establishment of the special high court or the special court to try Dr. Machar, among other 7 accused. Then we have, of course, Dr. Gary, who is the lead team, was also calling that there is need for things to do with jurisdiction, among others. But also the prosecution team, which is led by Justice Achwil, also defended their ground and saying that their support on the ground on submitting, they have submitted a written response challenging the objections of the defense team, citing that the special court was capable to try Dr. Machar and the other accused or the co-accused. Therefore, the following day, the court proceeding, of course, went on well, and the attendance increased compared to the previous days. As you could see today, viewers, it's very, very full. The courtroom at Freedom Hall is full, and we have seen the arrival of the Dr. Machar, who happened to be the 5th accused, according to the list or according to the case filed by the complainer from the government side. We have seen his arrival. He just got in to the courtroom, and this alone shows, you could see, viewers, this is the arrival of Dr. Machar. So already we have the 7 accused. They're already in the courtroom, and this is the arrival of Dr. Machar 10, and he is the 5th accused. And this shows the fact that as soon as the 7 accused, the 8 accused arrived, and then the jurist or the panel of judges who are presiding over this special event, then we can see that the presiding over Judge Dr. James Alala will commence the process. You could see he's shaking hand with Potkang, and also shaking hand with Mampal, and some of these members of the IO or the accused who happen to be in the same courtroom. This is shaking hand with Garwich Lampoth, and then we have also other accused who are standing trying to shake hand as they await the next process. Of course, the next process is going to be determined by the presiding over judge, who will actually pass the verdict today and ensure that the process continues from there. And of course, based on the objections, he is also, you could see Dr. Machar and some of his defense team, led by Dr. Gary, the courtroom, as you could see them trying to shake hands and having high morale, giving some bit of laughter or a smile. This shows that they are ready and to face all what is the charges that are leveled against them. And of course, this is the fact that government wanted to ensure that this case at hand is given fair trial, and that's the reason as why you could see, viewers, we have actually taken this decision, and the leadership and of course the management of SSBC with the directive from the leadership of the country, because for purpose of transparency, that's why you could see this event is being relayed live on our Facebook account and YouTube account, SSBC official, and you could also watch. And this is the team of also The team that has just arrived at Freedom Hall, these are the teams from the prosecution. I mean, these are the teams from the prosecution team, as you could see them arriving to take also their seat. These are the team from the prosecution panel who happen to be part and parcel of this event. You could see them shaking hands, and a number of them. Plus also we have some members from the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. These are actually people who happen to be supporting this process to ensure it went on successful. The next thing is that viewers, to remind you that last week, of course, the prosecution team submitted a strong point defending their ground based on the objections of the defense team, saying the court is not actually legal, the court is not based on jurisdiction, among others. But the team from the prosecution side submitted a report accepting or telling the people that they are actually ready, and they are optimistic that, and also committed that this special court is the right place where the accused are supposed to be tried. This shows that, of course, this shows the credibility, fairness, and shows openness and also impartiality of the court proceeding, has always been said by a number of times by the judicial or by the juries headed by Dr. James Deng Alala. And then we have Stephen Simon, Justice Isaac Pour Majak, among others. The prosecution team, of course, last week, they have all get together, and then that's what happened. Today, the presiding over judge will be able to determine, they will pass judgment on the next move of the process. Of course, this is the judiciary on trial process, which determines the established special court whether it is competent according to what the defense team are saying, but then the also prosecution team say it is competent. With that, viewers, continue to stay tuned, and we're going to relay to Freedom Hall, and then let's get to hear what's happening down on the ground, as our reporters are also there. We have a number of them. As you could see, both the prosecution team and defense team are already on the ground. Let's have a few intake from what is happening at the courtroom at Freedom Hall.
first Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, Dr. Machar, who is fifth according to the order of the accused. As you witnessed in the hall, both the prosecution team, and the defense team, all the 7 and all the 8 accused, have arrived, and they're all within the premises, and the hall seems to be packed and seems to be calm and waiting for the presiding judges to arrive, and then we'll continue giving you an update. Just a brief summary before I give to my colleagues of the court proceeding. This high-profile case has great national attention and is being closely followed not only in South Sudan but across the region and the international community. Before we bring you today's developments, let's briefly recap on what happened from day 1 to day 3. Just a reminder for those who could have missed the beginning of the session. On day 1, the defense team challenged the constitutionality of the trial, arguing that Dr. Machar enjoys immunity under the revitalized peace agreement. The prosecution, however, countered that the gravity of the charge include treason, terrorism, murder, and crimes against humanity, necessitated that the case proceed. On day 2, the defense further insisted that the special court lacked jurisdiction, and the prosecuting senior official must strictly follow provisions of the peace agreement, and the prosecution team argued that the trial is based on Chapter 5 of the Penal Code of 2008, and we'll be bringing you more detail as the court proceeds. Let's now just take a closer look at what happened in the courtroom on Wednesday during the 3rd session. The court proceeding began with a formal attendance of both the prosecution teams alongside the accused. Midway, the prosecution raised an objection against 2 defense lawyers, that is Wurunyang Kirunyang and Deng John Deng, arguing that the legal license had expired. Representing the prosecution, Dr. Severn requested that the 2 lawyers be disqualified under the Advocate Acts of 2013. I'll be handing over to my colleague Martin Jose for more analysis of what is currently taking place in the courtroom.
Thank you so much, Leila Osman. All right, welcome back to Freedom Hall. It is Monday, 29 September 2025, and the high-profile trial of 8 senior SPLM-IO members resumes in the capital, Juba. Among the accused is a Port Kangchual who stands as a prime suspect in the case. The defendants face serious charges including terrorism, conspiracy, and multiple counts of murder, all brought under the 2008 Penal Code Act. This marks the 4th court session in what is already being described as the most significant legal proceeding since independence of the country. Last week's session saw the prosecution shift focus from the core charges to challenge the composition of the defense legal team. In a heated submission, the prosecution objected to the participation of the 2 unlicensed advocates, urging their presence violates the Advocates Act of 2013, which mandates formal registration before any legal practice in court. The prosecution asked the court to expel the 2 individuals from entering the courtroom, urging their inclusion undermines the integrity and legality of the proceedings. The move sparked a flurry of written submissions from both sides, prompting the court to adjourn until today, Monday, 29 September 2025, allowing time for the judges to carefully study the arguments before delivering a ruling on the matter. Now the court reconvenes. All eyes turn to the panel of judges who are expected to address the procedural objections before any further progress can be made on the substantial charges. The courtroom is filled to the brim with high-ranking SPLM-IO officials, international and national observers, legal scholars, and curious citizens packed into the gallery. Packing into the gallery, the weight of the moment is palpable, not just for the fate of the accused, but the credibility of the country's legal system and its journey towards justice and the rule of law. with proceedings underway, all attention is on the bench. Will the court uphold the objections raised by the prosecution, or will it allow the defense team to proceed in full formation? Stay with us as we continue to bring you live detailed commentary from inside the court on this story case. I would like to hand over the microphone to my colleague, Martin Justin Jose, to brief you on these proceedings.
Thank you very much, Matiang Joseph Lail Osman, Peter Morijan is from Freedom Hall. Thank you very much. نعم سيداتي وسادتي، صباح الخير، صباح جميل لكل متابعي SSBC بقنواتها الإذاعية والتلفزيونية. سعيد جدا نكون معاكم في بث مباشر من قاعة الحرية، حيث مجريات محاكمة 8 محاكمين من قضايا أدوا من أبرزهم وزير البترول الموقوف بوت كانتشون، وأيضا في من ضمن 7 آخرين نائب الأول رئيس الجمهورية الموقوف دكتور مachar. والموقوفين أو المتهمين هم بوت كانتشون، مام بال دول جاتويتش لام هوتش، جنرال جابريل دوبلام، دكتور machar تين، برغيدير جنرال كاميليو جاتويتش كيل، مدين ياك ريك، and دومينيك كاتجوك ريك. ديل المتهمين ال8 اللي بيواجهوا تهم عدة. من أبرز هذه التهم التآمر ضد الدولة، تمويل الإرهاب، وتدمير الممتلكات العامة والعسكرية حسب ما جاء في بيان وزارة العدل. أيضا الآن نحن في قاعة الحرية كل الاستعدادات لوصول قضاة المحكمة الخاصة اللي بتنظر في هذه القضايا، ولكن بصورة عامة بالفعل لقد وصل محامي فرق أو هيئة الاتهام كلهم الآن داخل القاعة، وأيضا المتهمين ال8 هم داخل قاعة الحرية. وبصورة عامة أيضا القاعة اليوم يعني بنشوف إنه الحضور مميز جدا من الأيام السابقة. وبشكل أيضا سريع لما حدث في الأيام السابقة، بنشوف إنه المحكمة بدأت باعتراض هيئة الدفاع حول أهلية وقانونية المحكمة، ورد هيئة الاتهام بأنه المحكمة دي لها يعني مشروع وقانونيا أن تدير هذه المحكمة وتحكم في هذه القضايا. ومن بين المواد اللي تمت مداولتها مواد 103 104 من الدستور الانتقالي. وفي اليوم الثاني جاءت بتقديم المتهمين، وتم أيضا تأجيل الجلسة. ومن بعد أيضا بنشوف أنه هيئة الدفاع أو هيئة الاتهام هيئة الاتهام رفع شكوى ضد عدد من المحامين الموجودين ضمن هيئة الدفاع. ومن بين رفع شكوى ضدهم هم المحاميين جون دين ورنيان كير ورنيان، انهم يعني الرخصة بتاعهم ما مسجل، هم غير مسجلين او الرخصة بتاعهم ما مجدد. ولو جينا شفنا في قانون المحاماة الخاص بجنوب السودان، بنشوف في البند الثالث أو في الفقرة الثالثة بنشوف إنه أي محامي ما عنده أو الرخصة بتاعه ما مجدد أو ما عنده رخصة حتى ما عنده الحق إنه يمثل أمام المحكمة أيا كان من أنواع المحاكم. وأيضا بنشوف إنه في عام 2016 رئيس الهيئة القضائية أصدر قرار الأول لعام 2016 يعني بيخص المثول أمام المحاكم. وبنشوف إنه أي زور ما عنده يعني ما غير أي محامي ما عنده رخصة ما عنده حق يقف قدام المحاكمة أو قدام أي محاكم، ما عنده حق يمثل أي زول. وأيضا بنشوف برضه في محامين تحت التدريب بنجوا أمام المحاكم يزنهم الحق، لكن لازم يجوا يجوا بخطاب رسمي من المحامين اللي هم شغالين تحتهم. ويعني الكلام ده بيدل انه القانون وكل شيء له حق، لكن نحن كمتابعين لهذا الشأن ما عندنا كلام في الكلام، بننتظر فقط القضاء أو قضاة المحكمة الخاصة لما يجوا الليلة ويخشوا القاعة، بننتظر نشوف القرار اللي هم وصلوا له، لأنه في آخر جلسة كان وقف بشأن هذه التمثيل وعدم التمثيل وأهلية هنا. فنحن بانتظار قضاة المحكمة الخاصة هم 3 قضاة بقيادة البروفيسور جيمس ألالا. وجيمس ألالا طبعا مشهور في الساحة القانونية ليس فقط في المحاكمة بل أيضا هو أحد المحاضرين في جامعة جوبا في كلية القانون. نعم سيداتي وسادتي، ما زلنا معكم في بث مباشر من قاعة الحرية في هنا في جوبا، وبندي المايك لزميلة ليلى عثمان لمواصلة المزيد.
شكرا جزيلا Martin Kose. Thank you so much. Actually, just to be brief, going back to the third day proceeding, that was Wednesday. After hearing argument from both sides, the presiding judge, James Alala Deng, adjourned the session to today, which is September 2025. He stated that the adjournment will give the bench sufficient time to carefully review the documents and submissions from both the prosecution and defense team. Just a reminder once again, Dr. Machar and both Kang, the co-accused and 6 others, are facing charges including crimes against humanity linked to past violence in Nasir County of Upper Nile State of South Sudan. My colleague Martin, I think there's high need for us at least to know about the Constitution and more or less even the public at large. How do you see that? Because I think maybe the lawyers are not giving us enough update. Do you think there's need for some of us at least to go deep and begin researching on what the Constitution looks like and what it entails?
Yeah, of course. We are required of that, but now the proceedings have just, resumed. We have not yet gotten, the formal, ruling of the proceedings. So the judges and the prosecution, both the prosecution and defense team, should be the one now to talk about the legal proceedings being taken in this court. So we shall talk about it when time comes for it. But now let's just try to update here the public, the viewers. The attendance is huge. There's a little bit improvement in attendance. All the seats have been occupied by who are very eager to see how the country ventures into these effective legal systems. And already the 2 sides are here. The prosecution and the defense teams have already taken it. Now the atmosphere is quiet. People are waiting quietly, respecting the course and rules and norms. Nobody is allowed to talk in the court. Phones are not. If you have a phone, you are not allowed to enter with your phones because of the high profile of the case. It may ring and distract the attention of the public, of the attendants rather. So this is what is happening in the courtroom. We are waiting for the judge being led by James Alala. As soon as the judges arrive, you see the commencement of the proceedings into this trial of Port Kangjwal and 7 accused others being accused of terrorism, murder, conspiracy, destruction of public property and crimes against humanity, which is against the Constitution and the law of the land. Now let me give back the mic to Martin Justin to give you more in classic Arabic, because we have got viewers outside there who could be want to get more in Arabic and English. Martin Justin Kose, we need that classic Arabic.
Definitely, my colleague Matera will not be speaking in that classical Arabic because our viewers are not those who are speaking classical Arabic, but we just use the simple Arabic, which between the classical and the one we know, Arabic Juba. Thank you very much. Yes, dear viewers, نعم سيداتي وسادتي ما زلنا معكم في بث مباشر من قاعة الحرية في جوبا. الأستاذة ليلى عثمان سألت سؤال حول هل يحق لنا إنه نحن نقدر نطلع على الدستور وأيضا القوانين الخاص بالدولة؟ أكيد السؤال الإجابة يكون نعم. لابد أنه لكل مواطن في جنوب السودان يرجع للدستور الانتقالي ويراجع الدستور الانتقالي، يراجع القوانين الخاص بكل عمل. يعني مثلا إذا كان أنت مختص في الطب فلا بد تعرف أنه يعتبر في الدستور الانتقالي بيتماشى مع الطب، وإذا كان يعني مثلا يعطوا قوانين برضو مرافق لقوانين الطب في جنوب السودان عشان برضو ما تخش في الممارسات غير القانونية أو غير الأخلاقية. نعم، نحن هنا في قاعة الحرية، والمحكمة دي بالفعل فتحت عيون الكثير من الناس، مش بس أبناء جنوب السودان وحتى في الخارج. ليه؟ لأنه بيعكس عدالة جنوب السودان، بيعكس يعني حرية العدالة في جنوب السودان والمحاكمة في جنوب السودان، وأيضا الممارسات القانونية في جنوب السودان بتمشي كيف. نعم، نحن حتى منذ بداية المحاكمة هذه وحتى الآن نحن بنشوف إنه في عدالة، يعني العدالة أو محكمة جنوب السودان أصهرت لنا في عدالة كبيرة جدا هنا، وأي زول عنده تمثيل. وبنشوف أكثر يعني بشكل مباشر إنه المتهمين عندهم الحق إنه يكون عندهم ناس يمثلهم، بس حتى التمثيل عنده قانون بيحكم عمل التمثيل. منو اللي عنده حق إنه يمثل منو، ومنو اللي عنده حق إنه ممكن يرفض التمثيل يكون ما موجود. و200 الممثل أو المحامي بيكون أمام المحكمة. فبالتالي القوانين أو معرفة القوانين، قراءة القوانين حاجة يعني أمر ضروري جدا. نحن في انتظار وصول قاضي المحكمة الخاصة. طبعا دي محكمة خاصة تم تكوينه من قبل رئيس هيئة القضائية، وطبعا حسب القانون كمان موفر له الحق انه يكون هذه المحكمة. دائما المحاكم الخاصة او بنسميها بالمحكمة الخاصة بتنظر في القضايا الحساسة. المحكمة وايضا قضاة المحكمة الخاصة دي ما بيجوا من اي محل. قاضي المحكمة الخاصة لابد يكون هو قاضي في المحكمة العليا، السوبريم كورت بيسميهم هنا، هم اللي القضاة اللي بيقدر يكونوا في المحكمة الخاصة. والمحكمة الخاصة زي ما أنا قلت بينظر في قضايا حساسة كالقضايا الحسي. يعني احنا منتظرين انه يتم لو الجلسة تبدأ فيه، لأنه حتى الآن ما تم المحاكمة في القضية في أساس. يعني حتى الآن احنا لسه في اعتراض الاتهام واعتراض الدفاع، بنشوف لسه في قانونية الأمر، ونحن في انتظار يعني قرار المحكمة حول هذه القضية. إذا كان القرار جاء لصالح الاتهام فبالتالي نحن بنشوف إنه الليلة احتمال كبير حيكون في توجيه للتهم وبداية محاكمة حوله. ومن بين المحاكمين زي ما أنا قلت في البداية زي ما كنا بنعرض لكم، أول المتهمين هو وزير البترول دكتور ومعه 7 آخرين، ومن بينهم طبعا النائب الأول رئيس الجمهورية دكتور رياض. نرجع المايك لمتى والمزيد من التعليق.
Yeah, that is from Martin Justin Coste, highlighting you in classic Arabic regarding the proceedings. Still waiting for the judges to arrive in less than in some minutes. They will be arriving into the courtroom, leading to the commencement of the hearing. Again, is hearing in the case of Port Kangchual, the prime accused, and 7 others. The charges include terrorism, murder, conspiracy, and crime against humanity, which the country's constitution doesn't allow if regionally or internationally. In a body within the government, constitution stands taller than anyone, despite of the position someone holds in the government. So the law stands tall than anybody, and this is a commencement and of the venturing into the constitution, the effective justice system. which is being indicated in the country's law. Now, the court is still quiet, waiting for the arrival of the presiding judges, being led by James Alala. Prosecution team, defense team already set, with all the documents filling up the tables. You wonder what could be the issue, but this is all about legal proceedings. Both parties have got their say, the objections, and as a prosecution team, last time objected the participation of the two advocates, being their license had expired, asking the court to expel the two advocates to allow effective, hearing, effective continuation of the proceedings. If not, this violates the Advocates Act 2013, indicating that any person wants to participate in court should be legally registered, having the license showing the participation. If not, then the advocates without license are not allowed to be participating. So it depends on the court, the judges, to see into this issue as we wait for them to arrive shortly to let the proceedings commence. Media houses are in, everybody's in, court is full, all the seats are full, everyone is waiting quietly for the commencement of the proceedings. This is all about it, and we are ready to give you live updates now and then. And then it is you, the public, the viewers, to draw your attention, to draw your conclusion about these proceedings. Now let me give back the microphone to Leila Osman to give you more on this.
Thank you very much, my thank Joseph, my colleague at the Freedom Hall. As witnessed in the hall, the expectation seems to be high amongst those watching the proceedings at the court here at Freedom Hall. Just to give you a brief summary before I go back to my colleague in the studio, that is Gore Anthony. Just a brief summary of those of the 8 accused, starting with the proceeding of the court order. That is beginning with the suspended Minister of Petroleum, Potkang, who is the first accused, followed by Manpal, aged 27, a businessman, Gatwi Shilam, a member of parliament, aged 66 years, Lieutenant General Gabriel Doplam, Deputy Chief of the SSPDF, aged 53, followed by the 5th accused, that is Dr. Machar, the suspended first Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, 73 years old, and followed by the 6th, that is Brigadier Camilo Gatmai Kel, Head of Administration, National and Finance Transitional Security Committee, that is age 47, and then followed by the 7th accused, that is Madin Yakriak, signal personnel, radio operator, aged 45 years, and then followed by the lastly, that is the 8th accused, that is Dominic Gatkok Riak, a generator operator in the office of the suspended first Vice President, aged 27 years old. We'll continue briefing you. Please stay tuned to SSPC, as we'll be bringing more live coverage of the event happening live at the Freedom Hall, and also coordinating with our colleague Gore Anthony back in the studio. I hand over back to Gore Anthony in the studio.
Reporters, we have Leila Osman, Martin Joseph, and we have Martin Justin Kose, and also Oliver Mori. These are some of the reporters that are assigned on the ground to be able to cover for us this special court proceedings from Freedom Hall, where we are just expecting the arrival of the presiding over judge. We are having 3 judges that are appointed by the authority, the highest authority of the country, to ensure that they handle this case. And of course, the jurist or the panel of jurists, including Justice Dr. James Alala Deng, who is also the presiding over judge who takes control of these proceedings, supported or assisted by Justice Stephen Simon, as well as Justice Isaac Pur Majak, who were appointed by the country's Chief Justice to handle this case at hand. And of course, viewers, as you've just seen or you've watched at Freedom Hall, the hall today is full. People from all walks of life were allowed to be able to attend this session. We have also national and international observers who happen to turn up to be part of these court proceedings at Freedom Hall. And we also have scholars, those who are actually taking out law studies, and those who are also, doing the studies to be able to get knowledge and, skills on how the court procession is taking place, so on and so forth, to help them, support them in their field. And also we have friends and families who happen to also got at Freedom Hall courtroom today to be able to attend this court procession. And of course, viewers, as you remember from the beginning, we say the court, according to the presiding over judge, Dr. James Alala, he opened up the court to the public. And that's why you've seen from the day one to today, it is different, because the government wanted elements of credibility, impartiality, fairness, and that's why it is open to public. So anything at the public domain. And don't forget also SSBC, we are all live on our YouTube account, we are live on our Facebook account, and we are live on all our TV stations. That shows the commitment of the government. Anything that is done live, normally there is no editing. We do it live on the ground. That shows each and every step that is happening at Freedom Hall, all the people, because this case is being observed, being monitored by the region and the international community, and people are monitoring or following up this case closely to ensure that the trial or the case at hand is being actually taken up to the last stage to prove whether the suspect or the accused are guilty or innocent. This will be determined as the court procession or the court proceeding continues for the case of Nasir that culminated due to the killing of more than 250 members of the SSPDF plus Major General David Majur, and also one pilot of the UN who happened to be sent to evacuate Major General, and in the process he also got killed. So these are some of the issues that is taking place. But as we know that currently we are dwelling in what is called judiciary on trial process, which determined if the established special court is proven to be competent to handle or try the case at hand on the charges leveled, on all the charges put against the accused. This stage is determined by the three presiding judges, as we said in the beginning, and then the defense team and the prosecution team, as well as those who stand on the ground to ensure that the court process or the court proceeding went on successfully. And as of today, viewers, we are expecting, as we're still waiting for the arrival of the presiding over judges, we are actually expecting the panel of juries headed by Dr. James Alala, and also supported by Justice Stephen Simon and Justice Isaac Majak, to pass a verdict. They are going to pass judgment. This judgment is going to be based on the subject matter after, which is to read out after when they pass the verdict, actually judging the two sides from the prosecution team and the defense team, then they will pass the verdict to ensure now the court process continues from there. And this shows that from now onward, then we can be able to hear the number of the the charges that were leveled against the accused. And of course, from the beginning, viewers, if we could remember, some of these charges that were leveled against the 8 accused headed by actually the lead accused, which is Pothkang. If you could remember that from the beginning, viewers, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, or Dr. Genga Cage, actually read out some of the charges that were leveled against the accused, and this including treason, act of terrorism, then we have murder, we have conspiracy, common intention, terrorism, financing, and then we have destruction of public property and military assets, crime against humanity, and then systematic attack on civilians and ethnic-based prosecution. These are some of the case or some of the charges that were leveled against the accused who are actually at the courtroom as we speak. And as you could see, the attendance of the courtroom, you could see up to the brim. Freedom Hall today is just very full. People from all walks of life converge there to be able to attend these court proceedings. This shows the importance of this case at hand. As you could see, the accused also seated from the first accused, who is Potgang, down to the remaining other members who happen to be part and parcel or in connection with the Nasir incident. And these are the defense team. You could see them, defense team headed by Dr. Gary, and then we also have the accused team headed by Justice Chwil Adija, and we have also the presiding over, or the panel of judges headed by Dr. James Alala. You could see today it's a different day, and the environment is peaceful, the place is harmonious, and you could see the move as being put by our cameras and our reporters down. Everyone, people from all walks of life, stand up to attend this court. And of course, from the beginning, people were saying the court is not going to be open, but you could see it's open to the public, and we're just awaiting in a few seconds or few minutes from now to see the arrival of the presiding over judge, 3 panel of judges headed by Dr. James Alala Deng, who will be presiding over this event. And as we said from the beginning, viewers, that today is a day that will now cut the remaining 3 days, day 1, day 2, day 3. Now we will now move to a next session where the verdict will be passed, the judgment will be passed, to ensure that the court process now continue or moved on. Then from there we could be able to hear some of the charges that were leveled against the accused, the 8 accused. As top of them is Potgang, who is the prime suspect according to the government filed case. And you could see, people, that this event is live on our YouTube. Those who could not access us on television, you could log into SSBC official, or also log into SSBC official Facebook account. You will be able to watch us live from the, yes, you can be able to watch us live from from Freedom Hall as we relate to you this live event. Let's also get some few remarks from or views from our reporters. We have Leila Osman on the ground, we have Martin Joseph, we have Martin Justin Kose. These are some of the SSBC reporters who are actually in the courtroom as we speak, and they are monitoring closely from the event there. In the next few minutes, we'll be expecting the arrival of the presiding over judges. Let's now get back to Freedom Hall and hear some few views or few remarks from our colleagues down at the courtroom. Selector Isaka, Phantom, Best Production.
Thank you, Gore Anthony. Welcome back to Freedom Hall. I am Mathiang Joseph. Still waiting for the judges to arrive in the next 20 minutes. The proceedings will commence as the audience waiting quietly, and all seats are full. Attendance is huge. Both parties, the prosecution and defense teams, arrived. The accused already in the room, and everybody is quiet. Nobody is allowed to talk in court. And the adjournment last week, when the prosecution team objected the participation of two advocates from the defense team, and that they should not be allowed to participate as their license had expired, and that violates the Advocates Act 2013. This is what is happening in the court. Expectations are high from the audience. This is the beginning of the country's judicial system effectively since independence. This kind of high-profile case against SPLM IO senior members, including Potgang Joel and 7 others, charged with crimes against humanity, destruction of public property, conspiracy, treason, and terrorism. This is all about the incident in Nasser when more than 250 SSPDF soldiers were murdered alongside their commanding officer, Major Dak. This really is part of the arrest of all the SPLM IO senior members linked to the incident. And this brings us to this high-profile court hearing today at Freedom Hall in Juba. This is all about the constitution of the country. Constitution indicates nobody is taller than it. This is all about the national constitution. Regionally, internationally, the law stands taller than anybody, whether in government or in private. This is all about it. Let me give the microphone to Leila Osman to give you more updates about this court hearing.
Thank you, Martin Joseph, my colleague Peter Mori, and Martin Kose, live reporting from at Freedom Hall here. Just a brief reminder for those who could have just joined us today during the 4th day of the court proceeding at the Freedom Hall here in Juba. I'll give you a brief summary of the judges presiding over the case and the list of the defense, both on the prosecution teams. In the trial of both Kang, the suspended Minister of Petroleum, and 7 accused others, including suspended First Vice President Dr. Machar. The special court panel is composed of 3 judges. That is James Alaladeng, who is presiding over the proceedings, along with Judge Stephen Simon and Judge Isaac Bohr. The public prosecution team comprises of 13 counsel generals of the Ministry of Justice. That is Deng Achwil Adija, who is the lead judge, and Dr. Saber Wani Lado, Sarafino Simon Mizan, and Filiberto Magwot Mareng. Others also include Advocate Ajo Noel Ohisa, followed by Advocate Gabriel Madin Apache, Judge Advocate Deng Mabiordeng, Philip Anyang Wang, Advocate Ajak Mayol Bior, Advocate Mata Jobet Jeremiah, James Bonnet Michael, Advocate Peter Garang, and Counsel Botres Yai Adil. Those are the 13 counsel on the prosecution side. When we go to the defense side team for the 8 accused, that is Potgang in terms of order and the suspended Minister of Petroleum. The presiding defense team that are led by Dr. Giri Raymond Lege, Anthony Kour Lual, Anthony Anis Tombe Agostino, then Advocate John Deng John, Advocate Wanyang Kir Wanyang, and Advocate Regina Akiriao Deng. The case also involves investigators that is supporting the prosecution, including Brigadier General John Duck and Major General Basile Thomas Wani, a legal captain from the Internal Security Service, that is Captain Richard, who is one of the complainants. I'll hand over to my colleague, that is Martin Kosi, for more briefing on what is happening at the courtroom. The court seems packed and full compared to day 1 and 3, and the anticipation is high amongst those attending the proceeding. So we wait to hear more as the proceeding, comes into light, as we await for the arrival of the presiding judge, that is James Alala Deng. Keep tuned to SSBC for more details of the live coverage proceeding at the Freedom Hall here in Juba. Martin, please, maybe you'll give a brief summary for the Arabic viewers. Listeners.
تسلم كثير زميلة ليلى عثمان. نعم سيداتي وسادتي في كل مكان، ما زلنا بقاعة الحرية في جوبا في انتظار وصول قضاة المحكمة الخاصة اللي بيتمثل في 3 قضاة وعلى راسهم جامع جلالة. نعم هذه المحكمة بدأت في الأسبوع الماضي وما زلنا في مواصلة حول هذه القضايا، والمحكمة ما جات ساكت نعم. والمحكمة طبعا زي ما قلت بننتظر انه لسه ما زلنا في عملية بتاعت اعتراضات وقبول وعدم قبول وعدم قانونية وكل، يعني احس في انتظار انه هل هذه المحكمة مؤهلة ولا ما مؤهلة. لسه منتظرين نتيجة الامر ونحن في انتظار الكلام ده عشان نقدر نعرف انه كيف القضية بيقدر بيصير. القاء مليان بقانونيين، مليانين بمثقفين ومتابعين للشأن القانوني في البلاد، وايضا مناصري للمتهمين. والجرائم الموجهة ضد المتهمين زي ما انا كنت بتكلم انه بيتعلق بالارهاب وتمويل الاعمال الارهابية، وعندك تدمير الممتلكات العامة والعسكرية، التآمر ضد الدولة، يعني كلها جرائم موجهة ضد الدولة. وهذه الجرائم حسب القانون الدستور ايضا بيحكم عليه بغض النظر عن من انت. وزي ما ذكرت انه ايضا هذه المحكمة تمثل فاصلة او نقطة في تاريخ المحاكم في جنوب السودان، فريدة من نوعها وايضا حساسة وبيحتاج لعقلية كبيرة جدا انه الناس تتعامل بها. مثلا Joseph, we have also, because we are still waiting for the judges to come, and we don't know, maybe a few minutes and they will be arriving. And of course, the last session has been adjourned just about the issue of proceedings, and the prosecution have raised the case that 2 advocates are not supposed to be in yes. And based on that, and if you see the Advocate Act 2013, it shows that really if you don't have license, you're supposed not to be in practice. Also, there is an order been issued by the Chief Justice in 2016, particularly in 2nd November. That court, that order is saying that if you don't have license, you're supposed not to be in the court. And if you're a trainee is allowed, but if they come with letter from the representative, yes, that is it. So, Mathiang, you have a few more you can add.
Okay. Thank you, Justin Martin. Yeah, this is still, early for us to give in convictions or analysis on these proceedings. But now the courtroom is, the atmosphere is cordial as accused. Podkang and his 7 accused are allowed to interact with their supporters in the courtroom. Not even supporters, but the defense team. They are being seen, exchanging greetings, with a smile, on their faces. And the courtroom is friendly. Everyone is waiting. Expectations are high because this marks the beginning of the country's justice system since independence. This kind of high-profile, trial, and this is trial against Podkang Chol for having, allegedly committed crime against humanity and destruction of public property, conspiracy, conniving with the criminals trying to destabilize the country. And the law steps in saying, no, this is all about, the Constitution. Nobody's taller. Nobody's immune to the country's law. And nobody should be committing crimes or trying to destabilize the country. This is all about, the Constitution. Already the judges expected to arrive in some few minutes to come. Prosecution and defense team already waiting. And during adjournment of the proceedings to Monday today, the reason was to allow the judges, the court, to examine the long written documents, studying from both parties before the real rulings commence. This is all about the court, and we have more to give you now and then. This is Matiang Joseph giving you the microphone to my colleague Leila Osman. If not, we have to go back to the studio, allowing Gori Anthony to give you more analysis on the matter.
de ketirle nina kangesi musa wasawa bitimu erata bele de kifoyale nina kangesi musa wasawa bitimu mata geni zulu makwana dola de tanina sawa mata zulu makwana dola de tanina sawa.
Yes, viewers of SSBC, thank you so much. You're still joining us live from Juba, both in our studios and also at Freedom Hall, where the court proceedings is taking place for suspects who are actually in connection with the Nasir incident. And of course, as the saying goes, that a suspect is innocent until is proven guilty by the court of law. And this is what is happening as you've been watching us live from both our studio and then at Freedom Hall courtroom, where we just are waiting the arrival of the three presiding over jurists or panel of judges headed by Justice Dr. James Alala, and also Justice Stephen Simon, and also Justice Isaac Pur Majak, who are actually appointed by the country's Chief Justice to handle this case at hand. As from the beginning, viewers, we said today we are awaiting the verdict, or we are awaiting the passing of judgment by the presiding over judge and the two other justices who are going to convene shortly. In a few minutes from now, they will convene on Freedom Hall, and they will pass judgment on some of the objections from both the from the prosecution team and also from the defense team. They are going to pass a verdict, and this verdict will actually give us a new move where we will be seeing the next move, that is to ensure that the court process continues, and then we will be able to hear some of these charges that are leveled against the accused, the 8 accused headed by one which is the leading accused or the top prime accused, that is Port Kang Chol, who is on top of the list, and then headed by the rest, or including the rest of the accused. Back in the courtroom, viewers, we are having 4 members or counsel generals in the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs who are actually in the prosecution team. We have also 7 advocates who are members of the prosecution team, and also we are headed by Advocate Deng Achil Adija, who is heading the prosecution team. And we also have 2 investigators who are members of the prosecution panel and 1 complainer also as part of this case. On the other hand, viewers, we have 6 advocates from the defense team representing Dr.Machar and 7 other accused, or representing Port Kang and 7 other accused on the ongoing court proceedings, and it is led by Dr. Gary Raimondo Lege. And we have 8 accused, including Port Kang, suspect, the first suspect number 2 is Mampal, then Garwich Lamboth, and when we have Lieutenant General Gabriel Doplam, we have Dr. Machar, number 5 in the list, and we have Brigadier General Camilo Gatmai, then we have Mading Riek, and we have Dominic Gatkoth. These are some of the suspects who are actually in the courtroom, and they will be actually standing their ground with the defense team to be able to respond to some of the cases that are leveled, or some of the charges that are leveled against them. But this will happen only if today the presiding judges will be able to pass verdict on some of the issues or some of the matters that were put across by the prosecution team and the defense team. There are some objections to the court jurisdictions, and then also legal process, so on and so forth. So today, as we are waiting for the presiding over judges, they are arriving in a short while, they will be able to pass a verdict that will ensure the commencement of the case from day 1 up to today, of course, which is the 4th day. We have not yet had some of these charges being read out. But by today, if the presiding over judges pass verdict on the matter at hand or the case at hand, then we could be able to hear these charges being read out by the prosecution team who filed the case against the accused, Potkang, and the 7 other accused or 7 other suspects. So as of now, we are actually looking at the jurisdiction and legality of the court process, and then we're also looking at the process to ensure that this thing moves on, the court process moves on, because the prosecution team actually handed over a written document or written support to the presiding over judge, and also they have also handed over a copy to defense team, defending their ground on the fact that this court is competent to try the accused or the prime accused, Potkang, among others. And with today, of course, you've seen how Freedom Hall is full to the brim. People from all walks of life converge there, and these elements, this shows the credibility. You could even see some seats. There is no space, no space at Freedom Hall. You could see if it was by your eyes. No space where you could sit. It is full, and I'm sure up to the outside. This indicates the matter at hand, that our people have been following this, and they have been waiting for this process to ensure it goes to an end. You could see that as our cameras are trying to relay to you this, it shows to the public or to the region and the international community that people of South Sudan, the ordinary citizen, have been actually waiting for this moment to ensure at least this case, it starts and it ends, and then it opened a new dawn or opened a new chapter where people will now be able to see what next. As always, the saying goes, the suspect is always innocent until he's proven guilty by the court of law. And this is what is happening. And that's why you could see people from all of our walks of life. You've seen intellectuals, you've seen people like more national and international observers, you've seen scholars, you've seen family members, you've seen people who are not even related. You know, people of South Sudan, those who are having zeal, who are having this, hope just to go and listen how the process is going on. The process, this is showing the credibility that from day one, SSBC team have been saying that the process is credible, despite of the fact that there were some elements who are saying no, but you could see by your eyes that this process is credible, and people all the way from all walks of life converge to Freedom Hall to see how this process is going to ensure that fairness, openness, and impartiality actually take center stage. And to remind you once again, we're just awaiting the arrival of the 3 presiding over judges, Justice Stephen Simon, and then Justice Isaac Pur Majak. These are the people that are seen by the country's judicial system to handle this case. And they are just, as soon as they arrive, they will pass verdict, and then we will proceed and see what next from here. The charges leveled against the accused, including, according to what is read by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Dr. Geng Akech, he read it some times back. He read some of these charges, including accused on Treason Act. Then we have also murder, we have conspiracy, we have common intention, we have terrorism financing, we have financing of terrorist act, destruction of public property, military assets, crime against humanity, and then systematic attack on civilians and on ethnic-based prosecution. So some of this case will be heard as soon as the court or the presiding over judge pass verdict on today's move. And let's go back again to my colleague Martin Joseph, Leila Osman, and Martin Justin Kose, who are doing great job at the courtroom. Let's hear what's happening as we continue relaying to you this live on Facebook, live, and we are also live on YouTube. Log into SSBC Official and also SSBC page. You will be able to watch us live on all the social media platforms. Let's go back to Freedom Hall, at Freedom Hall, to hear what's happening at the courtroom.
bihibu maklugel batai watani junub beledi ana bihibu maklugel batai beledi junub watani ana bihibu maklugel batai kanita gehibu bele take ita bishtaka tobo bikulu gelba obe amana karabu dola jamil de makera kawama bikul kwes kanina karabu bele dia fa de makera kawama bikul kwes rabuna behasi bonina ya kwani kanina mafisu bele de rabuna behasi bonina mama kanina mainu bele de muslia tabele de kanina kulu sawa sawa kanina mama sandola de birabakwe junub beledi ana bihibu maklugel batai beledi junub watani ana bihibu maklugel batai watani junub beledi ana bihibu maklugel batai beledi junub watani ana bihibu maklugel batai Simusa sawa bitimu mata geni zulu mapana dola de tanina sawa mata zulu mapana dola de tanina sawa geli bake bideta sunude be karabu dola tanina gelwa kama de tasunu isibu bele adiraba junub beledi ana bihibu maklugel batai beledi junub watani ana bihibu maklugel batai watani junub beledi ana bihibu maklugel batai beledi junub watani ana bihibu maklugel batai in Vivid Studio, Selector Isaka, Phantom, Best Production. Watani, junub beledi, ana bihibu maklugel batai, beledi, junub watani, ana bihibu maklugel batai, watani, junub beledi, ana bihibu maklugel batai, beledi, junub watani. Ana bihibu maklugel batai kelina dala madola tanina mama doula dunia kulu mutele kelina dala madola tanina yakwane doula alalam kulu mutele rabuna wadi kulu fogo kera albisibu belet ganiane rabuna wadi kulu fogo kera mama albisibu belet ganiane kanina gobru dola de magel bakwet dola de bikundo lalgowi kanina gobru dola de magel bakwet dola de bikundo lalgowi junub beledi ana bihibu maklugel batai beledi junub watani ana bihibu maklugel batai watani junub beledi ana bihibu maklugel batai beledi junub watani ana bihibu maklugel batai kanita gehibu bele take ita bishtaka tobo bikulu gelba obe amana kanina karabu dola Jemi de makerato wama bikunkwes. Kanina karabu beletia fa de makerato wama bikunkwes. Rabuna behasi bonina ya kwani kanina mafisu belede. Rabuna behasi bonina mama kanina mainu belede. Uslia tabelede tanina kulu sawa sawa. Nakutubala kanina mama sanola de birabakwe. Junu beledi anabihibu maklugel batai beledi. Watani, anabihibu makugel batai. Watani, junu beledi, anabihibu makugel batai. Beledi, junu watani, anabihibu makugel batai.
Viewers of SSBC, thank you so much for joining us. You're still watching live coverage on the court proceeding for Potkank and other accused. Live from Freedom Hall, you've just watched the panel of presiding over judges have arrived at the courtroom, and from here viewers will be handing over the microphone to the presiding over judge, Dr. Justice James Alala Deng, who is actually supported by two other justices, including Justice Isaac Pur Majak and Justice Stephen Simon. Let's hear the final verdict as they preside or they take center stage of this case at hand. Back to Freedom Hall, where we hear from the presiding over judge as they have arrived. Stay tuned.
Morning to you. Let us start our session by giving the attendance to the court.
Honorable Court, my Lord, Denga Shula Adija, Consul General, Minister of Justice, the President of the investigator, the complainant, and the prosecution team in present. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Lordship.
Just wait. Yes.
Good morning, Your Lordship. Of Advocate Gary Raimondo Lege Lobate, the lead defense team, in the presence of my learned colleagues, Advocate Kurulwar Kur, Advocate, in the presence of Advocate Kurulwar Kur, Advocate Anis Tombe, Advocate Deng John Deng, Advocate Warnyang Kir Warnyang, representing women in our side.
Thank you.
In the presence of the 8 accused persons, 8. Thank you.
Thank you. The session is for today is the decision on the 2 objections, the one of the defense and the other of prosecution. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. Let's go direct to the decisions, and I'm going to read it out. On the 1st of September 2025, the President of the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice of the Judiciary of South Sudan constituted this special court to try criminal case number 1533/2025 for Nasser incident, March 2025, against accused person under sections 48, 50, 52, 61, 62, 65, 64, 65, 66, 67, 70, 71, 72, 75, 76, 206A and B, and 239 of the Penal Code Act 2008, and also sections 15A, B, and 16 of Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism Act 2012, amended. On 22nd September 2025, the defense presented to the court an objection called preliminary objection. The title, Objections on Lack of Jurisdiction of the Special Court to try the first Vice President and the 7 others accused persons. That may be summarized as follows. Number 1, supremacy of revitalized agreement. And number 2, jurisdictional and procedural objection. Number 3, counter objection on the appearance of private advocates as part of the public prosecution attorney's team. As for the supremacy of the revitalized agreement, the defense cited Article 8.3 that says this revitalized agreement shall take precedence over national legislations and existing agreement to the contrary, and in the event that the provisions of national legislations or previous agreement conflicts with the terms of the agreement, the provisions of this agreement shall prevail. And that the revitalized agreement 2018 provides under 5.3.1.1 for the establishment of a hybrid court for South Sudan. This court is independent and established by African Union Commission to investigate and prosecute individuals bearing responsibility for violation of international law and applicable South Sudan laws, committed from 15 December 2013 through the end of the transitional period. Another incident is a ceasefire violation, and therefore it falls within the jurisdiction of the hybrid court. Article 17 of the Revitalized Agreement 2018 that should be adhered to, read together with Article 5.3.1.2 and 5.3.2.2. In addition to Article 201A, 7A, B, and D of the Transitional Constitution 2011 as amended. Furthermore, the defense mentioned that Article 9(3) of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2021 as amended provides that all rights and freedoms enshrined in international human rights treaties, conventions, and instruments ratified by or acceded to by the Republic of South Sudan shall be an integral part of this bill. So, trial of the accused persons disregard and alter-verse and unconstitutional. The defense also raised an issue of jurisdictional and procedural objection on the constitutional immunity of the first vice president, citing Article 103, 104, 2 of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2021 and in 2011 as amended, read together with Rules 62 and 63 of the Transitional National Legislative Conduct of Business 2013 as amended 2021 that provides that the first vice president shall not be subjected to criminal proceedings while in office, accepts upon removal of immunity by 2/3 majority of all members of the National Legislative Assembly, and in accordance with the rule 62 and 63 that provides that the provision of 62 shall, with the necessary modification, apply in respect of the first Vice President and Vice Presidents. This raises questions as to when does court become competent. It is when it is properly constituted as regards yes, it is properly constituted. The subject matter is within the jurisdiction of the court,